We have another driving tutorial. A lot of people nowadays do not know how to drive manual, but I know a little bit of something. I thought I might as well make a video for you guys, try and teach you a couple tricks. When you get into a manual car, put her in first gear, foot on the clutch. Okay, so downshifting, rev matching, we're on a hill, coming to a stop. Put it in gear so your car does not roll away.
Thank God it's Friday, catch me on the highway, Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, I'm Jensen. What's going on, guys? So as you can tell by the title, we have another driving tutorial. A lot of people nowadays do not know how to drive manual. This video is going to be more for the beginners and not the most experienced drivers. A lot of people that I know how to drive manual, but I know there's tons of people out there that are just getting their license or just have driven automatics their whole life and haven't had the chance to drive a manual. So let me teach you guys a little something. So let's go ahead, hop in the turbo marrow. Don't mind the dirtiness. There's just a rainstorm. All right. So when you get into a manual car, you don't want to just go ahead and crank the key. Obviously, you're not going to be able to start it because it's not going to send power to the key. So what you need to do, right, grab your key, throw it in the ignition. You'll have power. Put your foot on the clutch pedal. Put your foot on the brake pedal. Give her a good old wiggle. When you park the car, you put it in gear and then put up the e-brake. When you go to start the car, obviously you do not want it in gear, so you do the neutral shake. Make sure that it's in neutral, and then go ahead, keep your foot on the clutch. Go ahead, crank the car up. I always do a couple extra neutral shakes just to be sure before I let the clutch out, because it depending what you have in front of you, if you let the clutch out and you're in gear, it could be a very bad day. So with that being said, let me teach you guys how to come from a stop. Your e-brake's up, take the e-brake off, foot on the clutch, put her in first gear. So different transmissions are different. Yes, I need a new shifter ball, don't worry about that, but some cars have the map of the transmission right next to the shifter, which makes it really useful, or they'll have it up here on the shift knob. It really just depends what you're driving. But as you can see, that is the pattern of the transmission. So if you go left and up, you're in first gear. Now if you go side and down, you'll be in second gear, and then third, fourth, and then we'll go all the way over to fifth, sixth, and then give her another. That would be reverse. So reverse is all the way and up to the right with these T56s. So when you're coming from a stop, you're going to want to be in first gear. Some cars have enough power and torque to pull off in second. So right now, throw it in first gear, and then obviously your foot is going to be on the clutch and on the brake pedal to keep you from rolling away. Because if you let off the brake pedal, you're gonna start rolling a little bit. And depending if you're parked uphill, parked downhill, you're gonna start rolling. So keep your foot on the brake. When you start to let off the clutch, there's gonna be a point when you're letting off the clutch pedal where the car will start to roll forward because you're in gear. So as you start to let off the clutch pedal, there will be a certain catch point that will make you start rolling forward because the car wants to take off, and that's without giving it any gas. Okay, so as you can see, I'm rolling forward, and that's because I'm at a certain catch point in this clutch that makes the car roll forward. All cars are different because they have different clutches. In this car, I have a twin disc mantic clutch, so my catch point is going to be different than a stock clutch or a triple disc or something like that. So once you get to that catch point, that's when you want to start giving it a little bit of gas. You don't want to over rev it out because that's how you could burn your clutch. Don't want to do that. You're going to have a bad day. So once we start to feel that catch point in the clutch, let off the brake pedal and then slowly let the clutch out. That's when you'll start to roll forward a little bit. Once you start to roll forward, you go ahead give it a little bit of gas to be able to pull off from a stop. Take your time. Like, you don't have to be in a super rush. I remember when I first started to drive manual, pulling off from starting stops, I would like panic almost, like trying to pull forward without stalling the car. It just takes time, takes seat time. Same thing like donuts, drifting. You're gonna get better as time progresses and you get that practice in. So like I said, once you have the clutch pressed in, slowly let it out. And this car, the catch point is almost close to the top. So it's kind of like right here. Versus some cars, it'll be all the way down towards the bottom of the clutch. Like I said, it really just depends on the car and what you're driving or truck or whatever. Whatever has a manual transmission, it's all gonna be different. Let's kind of go through it again. Foot on the clutch, foot on the brake, put her in first gear, slowly let the clutch pedal out, okay? As you progress and as you get practice, you'll be able to let the clutch out faster and be able to get to that catch point without like panicking or stalling the car. So slowly let the clutch out, begin to roll, give it a little bit of RPMs to get the car rolling. Don't over rev it, and then boom, you're rolling. Once you practice that enough times, you could just obviously take off fast. I like to rev the car up a little bit to get it going, just because I like to listen to my car. Changing gears. Super simple. You're already rolling. You don't have to worry about the catch point. Once you're in the car, you're in first gear, you get going, push the clutch in, and then we're gonna go down to second. Clutch in, second gear, slowly let the clutch out. Slowly get back on the gas. And then you just continue to do that throughout all of the gears. So now we're in second, clutch in, third gear, slowly get back on the gas. It's really simple once you get the method down. Like, I grew up riding dirt bikes, so it's kind of the same deal. You're just using your hands rather than your feet in a car. So like on a dirt bike, you get to that catch point once you let out the clutch and you give it a little bit of gas, you get rolling, you get going, you're good to go. And then now, coming to a stop. All right, after the stop, we're gonna go through downshifting. But when you, or let's go to downshifting first. Okay, so downshifting, pretty simple. Say you're in third gear, okay? So you're in third gear, you're coming to a stop or something. Okay, this is without rev matching. I'll explain what rev matching is here in a second. But say, all right, let's just perform it in real life. So you're coming up to a stop sign, you're in third gear, and you want to downshift. Clutch in, second gear, slowly let the clutch out. Now you've just downshifted. Coming to a stop, obviously you press in the clutch, put her back in first gear, do that same method, slowly let the clutch out. That way you can get on the gas very gingerly and then back to shifting. So we're in first, clutch in, second gear, slowly let the clutch out, slowly get back on the gas. We're gonna go to third, slowly put the clutch in, slowly let the clutch out, okay? And then once you start learning how to do that, you can start doing it a lot faster. Like, it really just depends on the situation, your terrain. There's a lot of variables, obviously, when it comes to driving and using different methods and what works best for what situation. But yeah, back to downshifting. So rev matching is when you're sitting at a certain RPM. Say we're in third gear, we're at 2000 RPM. When you press the clutch in, your RPMs are gonna drop because you're basically in neutral to a certain extent. When you let the clutch out, it's gonna go back to a certain RPM. So what a lot of people do when they go to downshift is they'll try to keep the RPMs at that spot or even higher than when they left that gear that they're in. Say they're in third gear, they want to go down to second. So I'm in third now. I'm at 2,000 RPMs and I want to go down to second gear. So I'm going to rev match. So I'm going to push the clutch in, downshift into second gear, but I'm going to give it a little blip of the throttle to be able to get the RPMs back up to where I want them. So quick example. So I'm basically pushing the clutch in. While the clutch is in, I'm downshifting, and while the clutch is like in between downshifting and having the clutch in, I'm revving the car so the RPMs come up, and when I slowly let the clutch out, it catches at that certain RPM. Without rev matching, it would look like this, okay? You see how it kind of catches and then the RPMs go back up when you let the clutch out? Rev matching pretty much eliminates that. It just makes it sound smoother, makes it feel smoother, and you just look like you know what you're doing. So far, we've went over taking off from a stop. Let the clutch out slow, get on the gas, boom. Now you're rolling. Now you're cruising down the street. Then we went through shifting gears. You're letting the clutch in, you're changing gears, you're slowly letting the clutch out and getting back on the gas at the same time. Now, rev matching, you're changing gears, you're pushing the clutch in. When you have the clutch in, you're changing gears, you're giving it a little blip of the throttle to bring the RPMs up to where you want it. So that's pretty much a quick rundown of rev matching. I could probably do a full video just on rev matching because it's pretty important, and when you're going fast and you're doing race car stuff, it's kind of needed because you're not just dumping the clutch when you're shifting through gears. So we got from a stop, we got shifting gears, we got rev matching when you're downshifting, and then now something super simple, coming to a stop. All right, so say you want to come to a stop. All you do is push the clutch in, get on the brake, boom, and then give her a neutral shake. You could let off the clutch, and then everything else comes back into play. First gear, clutch in, slowly let the clutch out, get on the gas, boom, clutch in, shift gears, slowly let the clutch out, slowly get back on the gas at the same time, and then you're cruising, you're rolling. And then shift up to third, clutch in, shift gears, slowly get back on the gas, slowly let the clutch out. Coming around a corner or coming up to a stop, we're gonna downshift. So boom, rev match. Slowly give it a blip of the throttle to bring the RPMs back up to where you want. It's pretty simple once you practice. Some people get it faster than others, obviously with everything else when it comes to sports, when it comes to driving, action sports, anything like that. It's gonna take practice, it's gonna take seat time, and you pretty much just have to get out there and try it. You can't be scared. If you're scared, you're gonna make little hiccups here and there. You're gonna make mistakes that you normally wouldn't. No one taught me. I bought that Fox body from Tone when I was 15 and a half. And that was my first manual V8 vehicle. And I just started driving around town, trying to teach myself how to drive manual. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions I ever made because I learned how to drive manual. And sometimes when you're trying to learn from someone, they have different methods and different techniques that can kind of hinder your performance, I guess you could say. I'm trying to give you the most basic rundown of what to do and how to do it, so it's very broad. I can give you a bunch of different tips and tricks like what I do, but that's not going to be right for everybody, if that makes sense. So, okay, this car's a little low now. I need a different cross member because the cross member hangs down very low, and it's scraping on everything right now. This is the first drive, by the way, after lowering the car and putting the QA1 suspension. Thank you to QA1. Appreciate you guys very much. I'm gonna hit you up for a cross member here. And yeah, so I think the next thing that we can go over is taking off from a hill. So I showed you taking off from a flat area. Taking off from a hill is pretty much the exact same thing. Some people try to use the e-brake to start, but I'll show you a little tip that you don't need to use the e-brake, but I'll show you what I'm talking about as well. So coming to a stop, clutch in, brake. All right, we're gonna give her a neutral shake. Since we're on a hill, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the e-brake on so I can relax for a second. But what some people do, I mean, I tried it a couple times. I don't like doing it because it's not needed. Say you're on a hill. This isn't very steep of a hill, but it's a hill. So clutch in, first gear, and then what some people do is, since the e-brake is on, you don't have to have your foot on the brake. Okay, let your foot off the brake, and then you can have your foot on the gas pedal. That's the whole reason of using the e-brake, is you don't have to go from brake to gas. But that's not needed in any shape or form. So what some people do is they'll have it in first gear, they'll slowly start to let the clutch out to where they start to feel the clutch engaging and you get that catch point. When they do that, you can kind of hear the car start to die a little bit because obviously it wants to take off, and you're in gear, but the brake is on. So what they do is they get to that catch point and then they do one of these. They go, see, I can't even really do it. They slowly let off the clutch like you're taking off from a stop. But instead of using the brake pedal, they use the e-brake so they don't have to switch feet and go from brake to gas pedal. But like I said, that is not needed. So go ahead, take off the e-brake, and then, like I said, slowly let the clutch out and you'll get to that catch point. So when you get to that catch point, it has enough forward momentum to keep you in the same spot, because if you're on a flat surface, you would start to roll forward. Once you get to the catch point and you're on a hill, it'll kind of just keep you in that spot. And I'll try to demonstrate it right now. So slowly let the clutch out, you'll get to that catch point, you can let off the brake. See how I'm rolling back a little bit? Get to that catch point, you're staying in that spot. And then you can kind of give it gas to roll forward and then take off from the stop. I think that pretty much covers a little bit of everything for the beginners, how to drive a manual car. So let's just go over everything. Taking off from a flat street, slowly letting the clutch out, getting to that catch point in the clutch. When you're getting to that catch point and you start to let go and you feel it start to roll forward, give her a little bit of gas, roll on the gas as you're letting the clutch out. Once you're rolling, you're gonna need to change gears, clutch in, shift gears, slowly get back on the gas as you're letting the clutch out at the same time. It's like balancing. So once this is in, once your clutch is in, then your foot's off the gas. Once your foot is getting on the gas, slowly letting that clutch out again. So it's like back and forth, back and forth. Obviously you're gonna go through the gears, first through sixth or fifth, however many gears that you have, depending on your transmission. Rev matching, downshifting. You don't need to rev match when you're downshifting. I would just recommend it because it keeps the car happy. It doesn't give you that jolt and stuff, so you can drive smoothly and it sounds good. Coming to a stop, obviously push the clutch in, use your brake, stop the car. There's probably stuff that I'm missing. If you guys have more questions, drop them down below in the comments. I'll read all the comments, and then in the next driving tutorial, I'm sure we're gonna do a little bit more advanced stuff. We're gonna keep going and going until we get to pretty much everything that I know how to do in a manual car. Obviously we're gonna get to burnouts and all that good stuff as well. So if you're not a beginner and you watch this video, thank you. If you're a beginner and you watch this video, thank you. Yeah, hopefully this helps somebody. But yeah, like I said, if you have any more questions, drop them down in the comments. I'll be glad to answer them. And once again, I am not the best driver in the world, but I know a little something. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are happy that the driving tutorials are back. This was just a quick video that I wanted to do because I got the idea. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell, thumbs up, all that stuff. Thank you guys for supporting. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Almost everywhere that I go, there's someone that's like, hey, you're Jensen? Yes. Don't be timid to ask for a picture or whatever. I'm a nice guy. I love to take pictures with everyone that supports the channel, supports me. Anyway, hope you guys learned a little something. I think the last tip that you need to know when driving a manual car, obviously you're at a stop, you got your e-brake up, you're gonna go ahead, turn the car off, and then once you turn the car off, clutch in, put it in gear so your car does not roll away. Obviously the e-brake is going to help, but that's going to give you a second insurance on stopping the car and making sure you don't roll down the hill. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.